How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to build something pretty cool and pretty nautical. So I don't know about you, but I'm a guy about views. As a builder, I've always been trying to build something, and especially in survival, something with views. And here we have a very simple, really nice looking lighthouse, and I'm going to show you how to build this. Now, this is going to be a survival tutorial and sort of a let's build because I'm just going to be basically improvising the whole time. But yeah, we're going to be building this really nice survival lighthouse. Very easy to build, very simple if you follow the directions. And I hope you guys will enjoy it. So without further ado, let's begin. Okay, so just for the sake of your convenience, I have laid out all the blocks that you're going to need. Now do keep in mind that you could make anything in this tutorial out of anything. So it's all up to you, you're the builder, but these are going to be the blocks that I think are pretty easy to find in survival and what you're probably going to end up having in maybe like the first few days of Minecraft that you'll be playing with. But anyways, here are all the blocks laid out. So what you're going to be needing is some sort of wood slab. Could be any material or any type of wood. Wood fence, a wood stairs. You might want two of different sort of wood types, but that's up to you again. Wood plank, of course. You're going to need a cobblestone fence, cobblestone block, cobblestone slab, cobblestone stairs. Now, if you want to get fancy again, you could also use something like stone bricks. And if you're using a later version, of course, you could use anything else like that because I will be using 1.12, of course. But yeah, you're going to need an andesite block to complement these blocks over here. A trap door just for the top. You literally will only need one trap door. And these glass pane and blocks just for the windows. If you do not have any sort of glass blocks or anything like that, you can substitute it for the fences, of course. But as you can see, there's a lot of sand over here, so if you need to bake any of that up, we have it here. You're gonna need a ladder for the inside, and looks like I double put that on the list, but you're going to need a nether rack, just one nether rack block for the top, just for the light source, but you can basically use anything you want. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, so to start off, you're going to want to find any land. It could be anywhere, pretty much, but usually lighthouses are somewhere either off the coast of land over here or on this island that I found. But you're going to want to find some nice flat ground. Now, the version that I'll be using is 1.12 Java Edition for building, but you really don't need any specific version because the blocks I'll be using will be found in any version. I'm just going to use very basic survival blocks. Anyways, I got my space, I got the sun up, and I'm ready to build. So once you have your space, you're going to want to head and get some blocks here. I'm going to use cobblestone because it's a pretty easy block to find, as well as wood, and maybe some panes as well. And then you're going to want to have some stairs to complement the cobblestone. Now you can build this out of whatever you want. The structure is usually what holds up the lighthouse, but if you want to make it out of wood, you can. If you want to make it out of any sort of other type of material, you are more than free to do so. But I'm going to find the flattest part on here, which is probably going to be around here, and start the base. So I need just a little more flat land over here. Now, we'll also be doing this in creative, but I will make it hopefully easy enough for you guys to follow in survival. But this is basically all the space you'll need for this. So we're at the edge of the coast, and we have our space. First thing you're going to want to do is place 3 blocks as so, and then a corner block like this. So 1, 2, 3. From the 3 blocks, and you're going to want to copy to the other side like that, and then sort of make a circle. So you want to start off with that 3 blocks, make the corner right here, just another 3 blocks in that fashion, and then repeat that on this side as well as this side over here, and then until you make a complete circle as such. This is going to be the base of our lighthouse and what we're going to be building up from. So we're just going to stack this up, say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, and that's how we have our base. Now, if you're building in survival, which most of you probably are, It's going to be about 6 blocks high, and the easiest way to frame this out is just to make the corners as such. Okay, so now that you have framed out the top like this, we're ready to move on. It's pretty easy. It's just 6 blocks high. You're going to want to find an entrance. Now, considering that this is pretty much symmetrical on all sort of axes, you could basically make the entrance wherever you want. It's really not going to make a difference. But I kind of want my entrance to be sort of facing the sea over here. So I am just going to punch a hole right there. Now, we have a bunch of these pillars here, but we also have a lot of space to put windows. So what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to take my stairs, and it looks like I grabbed the wrong block here. So let me get the right block. And I am going to put a window here. Right about there. That sounds pretty good. Looks pretty good as well. And you're going to want to do that on all 3 sides as such, with the entrance being here. Now, this is going to be sort of the living space, but it's also going to get higher, so what you're going to want to do is also mark the entrance with just 2 blocks off like that. And then what you're going to want to do later is fill this with wood, but we're going to build a structure first and then sort of furnish the inside later. But to make things a little easier to mark things up, we're just going to fill the corners as such. And by now, it should look something like this. It's a pretty simple, sort of crude shape, but as we get higher, we could start adding a little more. So I'm just going to fill off that with a window by adding a stair, just 1 block gap, such like that. And do the same for these windows. So yeah, this is going to be our base windows, here, here, and here. And while it may look a little sort of barren, the bottom is probably not going to be a place you might want to spend your time in if you're building this house for survival. You're going to want the views, so we're going to definitely add more windows as we get higher. But now what we're going to do is we're going to add another layer. So to make the layer, well, to make another layer, we're going to actually go a little thinner. So what you're going to want to do is add cobblestone blocks on each end like that, on this outer part, like that. And then what you're going to want to do is add 4 blocks on each corner until you have sort of a pattern like that. Pretty easy, pretty simple. We're going to move on now, and we're going to add the second layer, which is going to be right here. Just add 3 blocks here, 3 blocks here, 3 blocks here, and 3 blocks here, and then build up from those corners. So it just should be a block thinner on each end, but it should look pretty good. Alright, so now that we're moving up, all you want to do is count the amount of blocks for the next layer. So this is 6 blocks high, I believe. So the next one you might want to make higher, or you might want to make the same length or height, or you might want to make it shorter. But we're going to go 6 blocks again. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you're going to want to repeat the same step that you did on the first layer and make pillars and frames out like that. Makes everything much easier, so that's what we're going to do. Okay, so that's what it's supposed to look like right now. We have our pillars. Now, on this layer, we're going to add some more windows. Now, what we're going to do first is we're going to add some stairs here that will mark the bottom of the windows, and we're going to add a little more depth as well. So far all we have is cobblestone, but the next layer I think we're going to make out of wood, but we're just going to mark out the windows here. Now you can take a slab like that and add a little more detail as well, and it does pop out a little bit. But what we're going to do after we add these windows is something a little cooler. Okay, so this is what it should look like so far. Nothing too hard. You're going to want to grab your cobblestone stairs and just add just a few of these like that, just topping the first layer off, just to make it look a little less crude, like that. And we're basically halfway there. We got our windows on the second layer, and it's pretty easy. So what you're going to want to do is the same thing that you did on the first floor with these stairs, and just make them upside down. Leave 3 blocks for the windows, and this will be your second layer. Now, if you're a little more of an advanced builder, such as I, you may want to add a little more, I guess, texture or color, as this is just a bunch of cobblestone. You could add a bunch of different sort of blocks, and maybe I'll do that towards the end of the video. But this is just for survival. So, you know, say you went mining and you came back with a bunch of excess cobblestone, as you do. You may want to use some of that to make yourself a pretty fancy, nice new lighthouse. So yeah, at each corner you should place a block like that on each of these slabs. Now this slab, there should be a 3 block distance for the windows, and the slab should be on the bottom half like that on the 4th block, and then just keep a block like that. Now if you do want to get fancy, you can take some andesite and actually replace that, and you do have a bit of a different texture going on. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cap this entire layer off with andesite, because it does seem like a pretty good idea. And there we got our second layer. Now if you want to add a little more detail, you can add a trim, which is just made out of cobblestone stairs, like so. And this is really easy. All you need to do is just make a layer of stairs as so. Okay, so it should look just like that, and it's looking pretty good so far. So we're gonna get to our next layer, which is going to be made out of wood, because we're getting a little higher now, and you know, it's all about the views, so you want it to look a little more fancy towards the top. So what we're going to do is we're going to shrink the layer again, as we did on the second layer. And what we're going to do, first of all, I'm just going to set the time so it's a little brighter. There we go, sun's up again. And we're going to add some stairs where all the andesite is. So maybe it was helpful using the andesite, because we have the stairs marking where those should be. Now, of course, it's not going to look good with stairs like that, so we're just going to make cobblestone at each end. So there you have it, a really nice trim, very easy, very simple, all made out of cobblestone. Should be easy in survival as well. We're going to move on now. Now, if you want to get, I guess if you want to make things easier, you can use the andesite again to mark out where the next layer is. And what we're going to do is we are going to make this out of oak wood. And this will be sort of the end of our lighthouse, as you can see, just like that. On each end. Now you can also make this 6 blocks high as well. And look at that. Now, what you might want to do once you've done that is grab yourself some more stairs. Preferably something that looks close to the color of oak, but you could also use oak stairs as well. They also work. See how that looks? And you do add a little more to it. And here you have sort of a tower that you can sort of go out to. Over here you got something, looks kind of dangerous, but we are going to be adding sort of another deck area on the top, of course. What would a lighthouse be without an observatory deck on the top, of course? So yeah, this is just the penultimate layer of our lighthouse made out of wood. You can also take the oak wood and replace the bottom of it with some planks, as so. Just to add a little more texture, because you know, you can always make something out of the same block, but you can also add just a little bit more, and it does make a difference. So there you have it. Now climbing up, we're going to go for our final layer. What you want to do now is we're going to take some stairs and actually put them on each corner like this. And this is going to be sort of our deck area. So right now you should have stairs on each corner like that. And then you might want to take some oak slabs and just put them on each corner like that. And then fill in the other corners like this. Now what you're going to want to do is take some fences. It could be anything, any sort of material. I'm just going to use the same oak. Though I do like spruce. I have sort of a weak spot for spruce. But we're just going to outline this entire area with fences and make them connect as well. Okay, so you have your observatory deck, and it may look a bit awkward, so what we might do is actually turn these into solid blocks, and then drop them down a bit, like that, on each end, because it does look a bit top heavy, so we're going to fix that really quick. Whoops. So there should be about 3 layers of wood here, whatever you want. And then you're going to add the stair trim up here like that. And then we're going to make these solid blocks because, you know, why not? And then what you may want to do is drop the fences down so they connect to the layer. And they don't look like they're just hanging down like that. Might as well do them over here as well. Now we can just keep it. Looks fine like that. Okay. So, this is your top layer. As you can see here. And the structure is pretty much finished. But what you may want to do is add sort of the light area because, you know, Lighthouse always needs some sort of light source. So what we're going to do is we can actually go back to using cobblestone up here, so why not? And we can make sort of like the top of the lighthouse. Now there definitely has to be an area for you to get up, so I think we're just going to keep this like that. And then it's pretty tight up here, but we could definitely make it work. So we're going to get some stairs and blocks, 3 on each pillar like that, just 1 block out from the center, pretty easy stuff, and then top it off with more cobblestone blocks. And then we're going to take slabs and put them on each end, top half like that. And then what you're going to want to do is finish it off. So take the andesite again, or whatever block you want, and just put it on the top. Put it at each end like that. It's looking a bit top heavy. I think I'm going to use some stairs instead. Yeah, it looks much better. Okay. So yeah, put 2 stairs at each end as such. And to top this off, it's going to be pretty easy. We're just going to add slab, 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 slab on the top end like that. And then I guess we're going to top this off with cobble. So just like that. If you want to get fancy, you could also use stone stairs just to make it pop out a little bit. But all we need to do is just put a top off like that. And you got your lighthouse top as such. And you got your lighthouse. So this is what the structure looks like. And it shouldn't be too hard. Alright, so here you have it, our lighthouse. It's nothing too big, but it is, you know, I guess a beginner sort of build you have, just with some simple details. I'm just going to add some stairs up here because I think it looks a little better. But yeah, okay, that's the structure there. We're good now. So the final part of this video, what I'm going to do is we're going to decorate the inside because yeah, you do have your build now, but you want to look you want to make it look a little cozier, and you don't want to live in something that looks like it's been abandoned. So we have all of our blocks here, and we had our windows earlier. We're going to add the windows. Now, if you're still in sort of the beginner stage of survival, you can also use fences to cover it up if you don't feel like cooking up some sand. But you just want to fill these windows with panes. Mostly, the corners are going to be used. We're going to be using mostly blocks for that. Stone, well, glass blocks like that. You can also use different colors if you want to. If you want to make things a little more interesting. But there you have it. Our windows, our second layer. And it's looking pretty good. You can fit a lot in this. There's a good amount of room. But we're just going to continue with putting the windows up here. You could also keep these windows open over here if you want to make this another observatory sort of area. But you do have the main deck to look for as well. So, now that the windows are filled, we're going to go ahead and check out the inside. So we're going to get your oak wood planks and just... Whoa, that's pretty cool. Looks like there's a lava bed underneath, but... You might want to check out after that if you are building this in survival. Man, I would have died if that happened. That's pretty crazy. But yeah, just fill out this area with wood like this. Okay, so now that your first floor is finished, we need to sort of lay out the floors to the next ones. So the next floor starts about a block from the window height. So right here. Now, if you're not really comfortable with this slab space, as you may not, then you could also just use blocks and maybe like something like andesite, but it's more of like a style choice if anything. So yeah, you're going to want to leave a hole to put the ladder somewhere. So down here is the first floor. And you got to find a way to, I guess, use the ladder. I'm just going to use just some logs and find the most convenient area to put it. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to add it right here. Just so it's not pressed up against this space here and that space is still usable. And we're just going to make it go all the way up to this floor. And then this is where things get kind of dodgy, but we're gonna work on that in just a second. But we're gonna use a ladder. If you want to get real fancy, you can also use stairs. But you know, we don't have a lot of space we're working with, so we're just gonna make ladders. Okay. So you got your first and second floors. Also, you might want to add a door as well. And you got another floor here as well, which I'm going to lay out. Now, each floor doesn't really matter, but usually each floor is going to be one block below where the window starts, like that. Here's your little observatory area. Now, what I probably am going to do is, now that we're working with a really, really like small space, I'm just going to put the ladder on this corner. It really doesn't matter. It's all about the function at this point. Not really about, you know, the style. But here you have what you need. And we're just going to add a trap door for weatherproof. Now, of course, this is a lighthouse. So, you know, whether you want to put a light source up here, it's up to you. You do have space to do that. But what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to grab my cobblestone. Whoops. And add a glowstone right here and add some trap doors just for some good old detail. But you can really use whatever you want. This is more of sort of decoration. You could also use netherrack, make some fire or something like that, make it a little more medieval, but that works too. I think I'm actually gonna try the netherrack and see how that works, because I think it'll look cooler. Though you might want to watch out because there's literally wood here, and I'd hate for this thing to burn down. It's a really nice lighthouse, so something like this could work. It's pretty simple, it's pretty easy, and it's far away from everything else. I just realized we could add a little canopy up here, something like that. Make it a little more pointy. But yeah, there you go. This is pretty much everything. Everything on the inside is up for you to sort of decorate. Put a bed up here. Let me get a bed real quick. You can also use all the new blocks because I'm using 1.12 and you can use the new blocks to do whatever you want. But here is a bed. Make it somewhere over there. It does get a little like cramped, but you know, it is a lighthouse. It's not really the most like functional space, but it's something. So decorate it wherever you want. Add another crafting table on the bottom. There's room for a lot of stuff down here actually. Plenty of chest room as well, because you know that's basically where most of your sort of stuff is going to be held. I don't want to block that, so something like that. And then if you really want to get fancy, get some stairs, add a little living place on this corner over here with the leftover box I have. And yeah, that's basically it. Oh, I forgot about the lighting. I forgot that I had night vision on. Oh, I guess I didn't have night vision on. Yeah, if you want to add lighting, just grab yourself a few torches, put them wherever you want. Probably the side of this as well is probably the best place to put it. But I'm actually going to go into nighttime and take a look at how this looks. And look at that. That is beautiful. And it's all doable in survival. So, you know, that's it. That's the lighthouse. Alright, y'all. Hope you enjoyed this wonderful survival lighthouse. If you did build it in survival, please tell me how you are enjoying this wonderful new structure by the seaside. If you got any more suggestions on what you want me to build in the future, be sure to shoot. I could basically build anything. Don't hold me to that. But if you did enjoy this video, be sure to check out my other videos. Also, stay tuned and subscribe. But until then, see you in the next one.